everyone. Usually, I read regular biographies of our podcast guests, but this time I am going to read what it says on Eric Neuman's website, which I found is much better than reading a biography. And it goes like this. Here is a list of things that Eric calls accomplishments, but his Jewish mom calls distractions from finding a wife. He was recently listed as one of the hottest rising stand-up comedians in New York by the Hollywood Radio and Television Society. Eric has been heard on the Bennington Show on Sirius XM, as well as Barstool Breakfast on Barstool Sports Radio. In 2016 and 17, he was a semi-finalist in New York's funniest stand-up competition for the New York Comedy Festival. And then also he has featured for comedy legends like Gilbert Gottfried and Richard Lewis. His debut headlining show that is called Bring Your Parents to Work Day was part of the 2017 New York Comedy Festival, sponsored by TBS. In 2018, he dropped his debut album, Nervous Lover, which landed #1 on iTunes Comedy Charts, #2 on the Billboard Charts, and was named Album of the Week on Sirius XM's Raw Dog channel. In 2019, he became the host and writer of Deep Dive on the IFC Channel, and in 2020, he appeared in the Iliza Shlesinger Sketch Show on Netflix. In 2021, he got interviewed by the best podcast called Jewish Florida No, I just made up that. So when Eric is not touring, he resides in New York City, where he's a regular at the Comedy Cellar, New York Comedy Club, Comic Stripe Live, Caroline's, and other top NYC clubs. Eric, that's not in the website. I really knew that you were great, but I didn't know you accomplished so much in your life. I was bored in quarantine. I downloaded this app called TikTok, and I saw your very, very funny TikToks, and you're Jewish, and I said, you're a great fit. Let's interview you, but I'm really impressed. And by the way, Eric got 65,000 followers on TikTok. Eric, welcome to the Jewish Florida podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you. That was the nicest intro I've ever gotten, so that feels really good.
Great.
Thank you for reading the entire. Sorry, I made the bio so long. That was a long intro.
Yeah.
But thank you. Yeah, I just actually got interviewed about 2-3 weeks ago by the Jerusalem Post, which is the most popular English writing newspaper in Israel, and they were very curious to know how I adjusted to the pandemic, and so I did a nice interview with them, and the article just came out. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of rooftops, outdoor shows. I think the pandemic has really been good for me creatively because in regular times I probably wouldn't have even downloaded TikTok, and it turned out to be one of the best things I've done because I've been on for 5 months, and I have a pretty good following so far, and I'm it keeps building every day, and I've gotten a lot of fans. It's been nice. I've had a lot of people, a lot of messages, come to South Africa, come to Tampa, and it's great. I mean, people I have a lot of Jewish fans now in Brazil and South Africa. So I'm planning maybe in the next year or so to just, do a couple shows in Brazil for a few nights, go to South Africa for maybe a week, and just do shows because they need comedy more now than ever. And people are really, please come out. We have a lot of Jews here. We don't have any Jewish comedy. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what, how I'm going to figure out the schedule, but I definitely want to start traveling a lot more in the next year and reach a lot of these fans.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's the beauty of TikTok. In just 5 months, you grew up to 65,000 followers in just 5 months. That's something that it's almost impossible to happen on Instagram or any other platform right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's and it's funny because TikTok is really the platform I think where you can grow the most organic fan base, where just the people who love you will follow you. And it's really nice, you know, to see these people just like really be passionate about my work. And it's been really nice.
Yeah, I'm one of your fans. I also found you
Thank
during
you.
quarantine, and I all the time I laugh. I show it to my girlfriend, to many people, and they all love it.
Thank you. I hope none of my clips cause problems in your relationship.
Oh no, no,
But
no. I make sure to show the specific ones I know.
yeah, you got to show them the right ones.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I had, you know, my first viral video was about a video. It got about 500,000. It was about you know, like an orgasm, men fake orgasms, you know, also. And I got, I mean, maybe 500 comments or something like, you know, oh my God, my girlfriend would be so mad if she saw this, or blah, 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 you know. But it's nice being honest. You know, I think that's really what I've sort of strived to do as I, you know, continue to grow as an artist, is I just want to get to the truth, and I just want to be honest. And people like honesty. They really do. And a lot of people are scared to be honest, or scared to say, you know, things about sensitive subjects. And so instead of shying away from it, I've chosen to sort of go towards it. And so I think it's helped me a lot as a person, as an artist. And I think it helps people. I really do. You know, I think people can relate. And so, so that feels good. So whenever somebody says, oh my God, like this strikes me, so, you know, this really strikes a chord with me. This really, I feel this a lot. I know I've accomplished, I've done my job, you know?
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. In this world, especially today, when someone is really honest, he gets success. Donald Trump, you like it, you hate him, we don't care, we don't talk about politics. He was, at least he seemed to be speaking the truth that nobody wanted to speak. And that's why
Right.
he got at least half of the country on his side.
100%. And people, and that's the thing, just that quality, it almost doesn't even matter, you know, with something like, you know, with him, and again, I don't like talking politics much, but, you know, I think you have to recognize, like, I personally can't stand Trump, but I understand why it worked. And I think that's important. And I think that's something that people in society neglect a lot. I think people can't see why things are successful. They're so blinded by their own opinions or own emotions. They can't understand another point of view. So if you tell me you don't like Trump's politics, no problem. I don't either. However, I understand why he was successful, and I understand what he was doing and why he related to people. And so that's an important thing to see and to understand. So, but, right, exactly. It's about honesty. It's about, you know, telling your, you know, what you think the truth is, and having opinions, you know, and having strong opinions. So yeah.
That's great. You talk about reality in a funny way, and people like it, and that's great, Eric. And Eric, when was the first time you thought of doing stand-up comedy or being a comedian?
You know, it's funny. I always loved making people laugh. I mean, just, it seems like a cliche answer, but it's deeper than that. Not making people laugh. I think a lot of people like making people laugh. You know, for me, it was, I needed it. And it was the only thing in my life that I really felt good at. You know, I was obsessed with movies growing up, obsessed. I always wanted to be a director. And I held the camera for one day, and I was like, I can't do this shit. The lighting, I can't understand lighting or angles. From a technical standpoint, I was just lost. And so I realized very quickly, okay, I'm not going to be a director. And making people laugh was the only thing that just felt easy for me. I knew how to do it. I didn't have to think about it much. It just came. And so, you know, when I got to college, and I was a class clown, and I just made everybody laugh in school and stuff. And then I got to college, and when you get to college, you're around people who are taking it much more seriously. They're there to learn. They're paying money to take classes. So I realized that I wasn't able to be the same clown anymore. You know, people didn't want to hear it. They weren't interested. And so I needed to do something. I needed to make people laugh. I just needed. So one day I was 20 years old, and I prepared a 5-minute set. It was all about being a virgin. And I got on stage for the first time, and it went pretty well, you know, stupid jokes. And, you know, looking back now, you know, if you watch yourself 10 years ago, it's very cringe, you know, it's very hard to watch, but I did it. And that's the thing. It's like people ask me advice about stand-up, and they go, you know, what should I do? How do I do it? And I try to give them as good an answer as possible, but really the only answer is just do it. Like, there's no other answer. It's just try it. You want to be a stand-up comedian? Go, you know, James Cameron, you know, the director James Cameron, obviously, right?
I'll pretend that yes, but I'm very bad with movies. So
he directed Titanic and you know, Terminator and all that. So you know, he always had this great quote. He said, you know, if you are making movies, you are a director, and everything after that is just negotiating your pay. So, you know, you're a director if you're making a movie for $100, and you're a director if you're getting paid $10 million. Either way, you're a director because you're holding a camera and you're making a movie. So if you want to be a stand-up comedian, get on stage and do comedy. There's nothing else. And then, you know, then it's up to you after that. It's up to you. How hard are you going to work? You know, how much are you going to put into it? I'm a very big believer of, you know, if you want something, you have to put everything into it. So, you know, I've sacrificed a lot in my life so far. I'm in my early 30s. You know, I started young, so I was fortunate to be able to find what I wanted to do for my life at 20. I mean, a lot of people, you know, I have friends who started stand-up at 45. I mean, you don't know when you're going to find it, you know? I mean, but I was fortunate to find it in college, and, you know, and by 24, 25, I knew this is what I was going to do with my life. So, you know, I'm in my early 30s now, and I've sacrificed a lot in my life for stand-up. I've, you know, my relationships, you know, my romantic relationships have certainly suffered from it. My friendships, I lost a lot of friends, you know, nothing dramatic, just you lose touch. And, but anybody in my life who knows me, anybody, my family, my friends, anyone, they know that my priority is stand-up, that is my priority. So, and that's a choice I've made. So when people ask me, you know, I'll get a lot of, on TikTok, I'll sometimes get 18-year-olds who reach out and they go, oh, hey, you know, I'm funny around my friends, but I'm not sure how I'll be on stage, you know, whatever. And I go, just try it, dude. Go try an open mic. Just see how it goes. But when someone comes to me and says, I want to be a stand-up comedian, that's what I want to do with my life, I don't sugarcoat it. Because I think people have this idea that you get on stage, you're just automatically hilarious, and now you have a career, and it's very far from the truth. I mean, you know, like, I'm funny because of how much work I've put into being funny. You know, if you watched my tape, and I'll never let you, but if you watched my tape from 10 years ago, you know, I'm like a nervous, vulnerable version of myself. It's not me now. It's, you know, but you have to put in years and years to get comfortable on stage, and to, you know, I always said that if people leave my show and they say, oh, I think I can do that, I did my job. Because what I did was I made it look so easy that anyone thinks they can do it. Now, if they get on stage, they'll realize they can't. But The point is that I've made it look easy. You know, if you see somebody play guitar, if you see, I don't know if you're a music fan.
Yeah, I mean.
But, you know, if you see George Harrison play guitar, Jimi Hendrix play guitar, you know, or Stevie Wonder play piano, your first thought is like, oh, that looks easy. I think I could play piano. Look at how easy he's playing piano. They don't realize that, you know, he's put so much work into becoming a great piano player, or, you know, but I think the great ones make it look easy. And so I think that's sort of what I strive for. I want people to see me and say like, oh, wow, that looks like it's a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That remembers me to me. I used to watch, not like I used to watch golf a lot, but I don't know, I just watch it like once in a while. And then I once try it and it looks so hard. So yeah, when someone is good, it really makes it look easy to the other people.
Right.
And then they try it, like I tried golf and I said, no, I'm bad.
Yeah, exactly. But that's, and that's what's, you know, that's sort of what I think throws people off a little bit. Is that there's nobody, look, sometimes people are just naturally gifted, you know. You know, maybe you take a Dave Chappelle, you know, who I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot, you know, over the last couple of years. I've gotten to know him, and obviously everybody in the world knows, you know, Dave Chappelle is a genius. But take somebody like Chappelle, who is just great, probably his first time on stage. I mean, he got better, of course, you know, every year he got better, but he was always good, you know, but he's like one in a million. You know, most other great athletes or comedians or whatever, sure, of course you have natural skill, but it's a lot of work. It's really a lot of work, and people don't understand that. People seem to think, you know, you just go be funny. And it's like, sure, like you naturally have to know how to be funny, but then you have to work on your jokes every day. Just, oh, that line's not working, so I have to change that line. I have to add another line. I have to switch the words around. There's a lot. It's, you know, you're a scientist, you know, you're a scientist with a notebook, you know? And so, you know, I think people don't understand. So when somebody asks me, when somebody seems passionate, I tell them, I go, if you think you have the skill, the ability, great, but I want you to have the drive. I want you to understand that if you really want to be a comedian, this is going to be your life. You are going to commit to this for your life every day, Monday through Sunday. Stand-up is not 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. Stand-up is write new jokes during the day, go out at night to the comedy clubs and try those jokes. If they're working, try to make them better. If they're not working, try to fix them. Come back, listen, watch your recordings, listen to yourself. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. And so that's what I don't sugarcoat it. I tell them right away, I go, you're going to have to fucking work so hard on this. I mean, you really are. Yeah.
That's true. You have to work hard to achieve what you want. And talking about working hard in comedy, so you're saying a regular day in your life is you write jokes in the day and then you try it out at night? Like, how is a day in Eric Neuman's life?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Sorry?
Yeah, how is a day on your life? How's a regular day on Eric Neuman's life?
Yeah, so it's usually, you know, I'll wake up. Well, now it's changed because, you know, now I'm very focused on TikTok, right? So now I wake up, and I edit videos. So I take clips of mine, I chop them into 1 minute or less, right? Because that's what TikTok requires. And I caption them, you know, I put the words on the screen, and, you know, and I I just keep doing it. And I do, it takes me a couple hours every day.
Yeah, the captions take so much time.
So much time. But you know what? Now that I have this fan base, like, on Instagram, I have a lot of Brazilian fans. And so they always say, every time I don't caption something, they yell at me. They go, I can't understand this. I need captions. So now I make sure, I'm like, you know what? Like, because I would hate to think that somebody really wants to watch my new clip, but they can't because they can't keep up with the words, So now I make sure, just even if it's one person who can't understand, it's better that, everybody can. So.
That's so nice, Eric.
Yeah. I try. It takes a lot of effort, but, listen, one fan is important because one fan has friends. One fan sends my clip to 5 friends. 2 of them become fans, and it just keeps going. So I try to be personal, look, now I've gotten to the point, I'm happy about this, but when I first got on TikTok, I would message every fan. I would say, thanks for the follow, blah, blah, blah. And people would freak out. Oh my God, thank you. Like, nobody does this. Now it's gotten a little harder, maybe I get to 1 every 10 now, but it's just too many to keep up with. But I try. So, I always had a personal touch. I have a personal touch in my life. I have a personal touch in my stand-up. Everything's personal with me. And so I try to maintain personal relationships. And, I don't take fans for granted. I really don't. I appreciate every single one. And got to keep going.
That's great, Eric. That's the difference between having a following and a community.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
And Eric, I have to ask you something. I have seen many of your videos, and you make a lot of fun of your mother because of the fact that she's Jewish. And we know that Jewish mothers are just different. Does your mother get angry about it, or you just block her from social media? How does it work?
My mom has a very good sense of humor about herself.
Okay.
She laughs at herself a lot. She knows she's ridiculous, She always goes, I know I'm ridiculous, so what? Like that kind of thing. And so, she knows that she's a huge focal point of my stand-up. And she doesn't mind at all. No, she doesn't mind. She comes to the show, she watches, doesn't mind.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Eric. And talking about the fact that your mother is Jewish, what is your connection with Judaism?
I've actually gone through a sort of like a weird roller coaster ride of religion. I grew up everybody in my family is Jewish, but I grew up Reform, conservative. I became Orthodox, like when I was around 20. I started keeping kosher and went to shul every Friday, Saturday. That lasted for about 5 years. Then I started dating a non-Jew. So that went out the window. And now I'm single. And now I observe Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Pesach, but I'm not Shomer Shabbos. I'll do gigs on Friday night and all that. So that's where I am now.
Okay, great. And what made you change from Reform and conservative to Orthodox?
Oh, a girl, of course.
Oh, pretty honest, as in your...
Yeah.
And what made you change from Orthodox to...
another girl. Yeah, another girl.
Let's see where your next girl takes you, Eric.
I know, who knows?
Okay, that's funny. And do you feel that the fact that you are a Jew plays an important role on your comedy shows and
Oh, yeah.
of you as a comedian?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's a huge part of my identity. I'm a Jewish man first before anything else. It's just everything I am. It's my whole being. It's my comedy. It's my life. It's, you know, the way I think, the way I feel, you know, it's just all Jewish, everything. And so, you know, me being religious or not being religious, in my opinion, has no, you know, significance about, you know, how I carry on as being a Jewish person and how proud I am to be Jewish and, you know, all that stuff.
Oh, amazing, Eric. And since you're like very exposed to the public, either in person or in social media, have you ever faced anti-Semitism?
Oh yeah, I faced it on TikTok a lot actually.
TikTok,
Um,
a lot of comments are anti-Semitic. I
a
get it
lot of
in Florida.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sure. And even in New York, I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, like, it's nuts. And I've had to report a bunch of people. I don't really take the time to report people, but when I see something that's just so blatantly hateful or, you know, offensive, I have to. And yeah, I mean, I've just really, I mean, I actually, I don't know if, you know this about me, but I go back and forth. I reply to every comment on TikTok, every single comment. You know, people say, great. I say, thank you. Yeah, I reply to everything. It takes a lot of time, but I put an hour aside in the day at around 6, 7 o'clock before I go out to do shows. I sit down on the couch and I reply to every comment. And some of them are just anti-Semitic and just, you know, and so I, you know, usually I'll probably make them feel stupid or something, and then I go to report them. So yeah. I do it a lot, but you know, I have thick skin. I just say, you know, this person's awful and try to report them and then move on with my life, you know.
Oh, okay. And in person? In a
Um,
show?
not so much in person, no. You know, I grew up in New York. I grew up in Queens. I lived in Manhattan, and so it's just not, because, you know, here it probably exists, of course, but it's definitely, you know, secretive because so many Jews, just so many Jews, you know, you can't be, you know, even the anti-Semites, they know that they have to be quiet about it, you know.
And Eric, what's the best part of being a comedian?
I think it's just being able to do what I love every day. That's the best part. You know?
And I was looking at your website and you sell this, like, I guess it's a long show for $5.
Yeah, it was my new. I shot a special on Rooftop in September, and so the audio version, you know, the album is on all the streaming platforms like iTunes and Spotify, Pandora, you know, all that. But I wanted to have a video version, a special, so that you could watch the whole full hour, 45 minutes. So I decided to do a direct download from my website. It was an experiment. You know, we made some good sales. It was good. But yeah, so I just decided to do that and see how it went.
Oh, that's great. And have you considered social media being a significant part of your income when everything was just closed?
You make a little bit of income off of social media. It's not as much as people think. The real valuable thing is that, you know, that when I tour, you know, when things come back and I tour and I go to a different city, there's going to be a lot of people who know me from social media. Where the value is as a stand-up comedian. You know, to be able to go to Chicago for a night and, you know, sell out, you know, a club, that's really where the value stand-up.
Oh, great. Oh, I think we lost the signal.
Did I lose you?
Do you hear me? Oh, great.
Yep. Yeah, I got you. Yep.
And Eric, I was curious. You first told us that you went to college and then you did your first stand-up because you couldn't make people laugh in college because people pay for that. They take student loans for the rest of their life. What did you study in college, and to which
Uh,
course did you go
I studied film. I, I, stu-
to?
I went to Hunter College on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and I studied film.
Oh, great.
Yep.
And what did your parents tell you when you said like, "Hey, I want to be a comedian"?
They still want me to do something else.
Really?
No. My mom now is, it's like it's a Jewish parent, right? It's like once you start, they say, "Oh, I don't want you to do that," and then you say, "No, but I'm making money." They go, "Okay." It's like, but for a long time I wasn't making money, so I understand where the concern would come in, but I think if you love something enough, you'll do it for free until you make money. I knew I loved it, so I said, you can't do stand up for the money because you're not going to see money for a long time. So you have to do it from the passion, from your heart. And then eventually, if you're good enough, you'll make money. So,
Oh, and what were you doing until it gave you money?
I was working different jobs, different office jobs, and just, whatever I can. I worked as a waiter for a while. But, that's it. I mean, you fund your passion until your passion funds itself. And
Finally achieve it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And Eric, this interview is coming to an end, sadly. What is your message to the world as a Jewish stand-up comedian?
The Jewish stand-up comedian, don't be anti-Semitic, and I just truly believe, like, whatever your thing is, whatever you have that fiery passion for, doesn't have to be stand-up. Whatever it is, just do it. Just don't ignore it, because it'll hurt you if you ignore it. I mean, you can go your whole life ignoring your passion, and then you turn 60 years old and you regret it. And so I think, whatever you want to be, just be it. Make it happen.
Great. Amazing message, Eric. And where can people follow you on TikTok, Instagram? Let us know.
Instagram, it's at I am Eric, ERIC NEUMANN. So at I'm Eric Neuman on Instagram, and the same exact thing on TikTok, but it's at I'm Eric Neuman 1, the number 1.
That's great. You're number 1. That's great, Eric. Eric, thank you so much for being here. It was a fun time, a learning time, and we hope to see you on stage in Brazil, South Africa, and even in Florida. Have you come to Florida?
No, I haven't ever done stand-up in Florida, but I'm talking to my manager about doing some dates, so we'll figure something out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Where are you located in Florida?
Jewish Florida is located in Miami.
Okay, Miami. Yeah, I would love to.
Great.
Well, I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you so much for accepting the invitation and for your time.
Take care.